We cannot deny that there is much misery in the world. To go out and help others is therefore the best thing we can do. Although, in the long run, we shall find that helping others is only helping ourselves. As a boy, I had some white mice. They were kept in a little box in which there were little wheels, and when the mice tried to cross the wheels turned and turned, and the mice never got anywhere. So it is with the world and our helping it. The only help is that we get moral exercise. When my teacher came to our house, I brought my English and Bengali books to him and showing him the particular books and the portions in them that were to be learned as lessons for the day. I laid myself down or sat quietly. The teacher repeated or twice or thrice the spelling, pronunciation, meaning, etc. of the words of those portion of those books as if he was himself learning the lesson and went away. That was sufficient for me to learn them. A little arithmetic, some Sanskrit grammar, a little language and accounts. These are taught in the primary school. A little books on ethics taught by an old man. We learnt by heart and I remember one of the lesson. For the good of a village, a man ought to give up his family. For the good of a country, he ought to give up his village. For the good of humanity, he may give up his country. For the good of the world, everything. Such verses are there in the books. We get them by heart and they are explained by teacher and pupil. This was the first verse that I was taught in my life. The first day I went to school. He indeed is a learned man who looks upon all women as his mother, who looks upon every man's property as so much dust, and looks upon every being as his own soul. Even while I was a student at Calcutta, I was a religious temperament. I was critical even at that time of my life. Mere words would not satisfy me. I used to see all my life a wonderful point of light between my eyebrows as soon as I shut my eyes in order to go to sleep, and I used to observe attentively its various changes so that it might be convenient to see. I used to lie on my bed in the way people bow down, touching the ground with their foreheads. The extraordinary point kept changing its color and increasing in size, became gradually converted into the form of a ball, and bursting at least covered my body from head to foot with white liquid light. As soon as that happened, I lost consciousness and fell asleep. I believed that all people went to sleep that way. I was long under that impression when I grew up and began to practice meditation. That point of light used to come before me as soon as I closed my eyes, and then I concentrated my mind on it. In those days, I daily practiced meditation with a few friends according to the instructions of Maharishi Devendranath. We talked among ourselves about the nature of vision and experience that each of us had at that time. I came to know from what they said that they never had the vision of such a light and that none of them went to sleep in that way. From my boyhood, I have been a daredevil, otherwise, could I have attempted to make a tour round the world almost without a penny in my pocket. While at school, one night I was meditating within closed doors and had a very deep concentration of my mind. How long I meditated in that way, I cannot say. It was over, and I still kept my seat when from the southern wall of that room a luminous figure stepped out and stood in front of me. There was a wonderful radiance on its visage, yet there seemed to be no play of emotions on it. It was the figure of a sannyasi, absolutely calm, shaven head and staff and kamandal in hand. He gazed at me for some time and seemed as if he would address me. I too gazed at him in speechless wonder. Then a kind of fright seized me. I opened the door and hurried out of the room. Then it struck me that it was foolish of me to run away like that. That perhaps he might say something to me, but I have never met that figure since. Many a time and often I had thought that if again I saw him, I would no more be afraid, but would speak to him, but I met him no more. I could find no clue to its solution. I now think it was the Lord Buddha whom I saw.